The land and ocean together constitute an immense circular plane. There is not a globe with north and south poles, but that the Earth is a plane having the central region as the north and the southern circumference for itself. Emits light and darkness regularly alternating as a peculiarity of the north but not of the south, and proves that north is the central region and the south is the circumference. During summer solstice, the northern or central region of the Earth is illuminated for several months together. During those months it is a very long day without a night. This is a phenomenal characteristic of north, thus being a central region. You see, the diameter of the sun's orbit in June is much smaller than that of December or winter solstice, and its speed is not so great or rapid as it is in December when on its outer path or orbit on the Tropic of Capricorn. Consequently, its rays continue over the northern center for several months, but in the south this is not the case, and it would be if the Earth was a planet. In the south, on the contrary, the days close abruptly, and summer they have little to no twilight. In the South Seas beyond the 50th parallel, the sun will be shining brightly, and in very short time the sailor who happens to be aloft will be in pitch darkness. The sun seems to drop below the sea at Auckland, New Zealand. There is little or no twilight. At Nelson it is light till about 8:00. Then in a few minutes it becomes too dark to see anything, and the change comes over in almost no time, and at so little latitude of 20 degrees south according to Captain Basil Hall, so that from 23 degrees south to be on 50 degrees for hours after visible sunset. In the north at midsummer, for many nights in succession, the sky is scarcely darkened. The difference between north and south with regards to organic, vegetable, and animal life show that the earth and ocean is a circular plane. The long periods of sunlight in the north, developed with great rapidity, formulates vegetable life and furnishes substance for multitudes of the living creatures that inhabit. But in the south, where the region is the circumference, so not sensual as in the north, that sunlight cannot linger but we quickly over the greater southern circle completely at the same time as the shortest circle of the north, and so has no time to excite the surface, has no time to aid and attenuate animal and vegetable life to the same extent as in the north. Consequently, and comparatively low south latitudes, everything adheres to an aspect of desolation. The meridian lines diverged southwards in a degrees of longitude increase in accordingly, but the earth were a globe, the degrees of longitude northward and southward from the equator would diminish from the known distance between two places in the south on or about the same latitude, and the difference of solar time or difference in longitude. We can calculate the length of a degree that allowed to the circular planet of the earth and ocean, and immense sundial witnessing to its own level and animability. The position of the sun, the firmament in relation to it, is diurnal course, indicates the time of day. The meridians are straight lines from the north center and diverge more and more southwards, are 24, a number corresponding with 24 hours of the day. The terrestrial surface is a dial plate. The time of day advances according to the progress of the sun in the firmament. The sun moves from east to west and comes around the same point in 24 hours. That's completing a circular path over the stationary plane Earth. The position of the sun in the firmament in relation to his monthly courses indicates the season. The sun revolutions from solstice to solstices are eccentric or spiral. It is summer during his 90th eccentric revolutions. From June to September it is autumn during his 90th revolution. From September to the winter solstice, winter during those times. From the winter solstice to the March equinox, and spring during his 90th spiral revolution. From March to the summer solstice, the sun speed per hour on the equator from east to west is 1,035 miles per hour. His speed north or south in 90 days is 1,035 miles, and the distance embraces 15 degrees latitude. When the sun is moving from the tropical Cancer towards the equator, it is summer in the north, and the days are 14 and 15 hours long. It is in winter in the south, or the days are 11 and 12 hours long. When the sun is moving from the Tropic of Capricorn northward towards the equator, it is summer in the south, and the days are 13 and 12 hours long. The north is 16 point, the center, the south is a vast circumference, a circular boundary to all parts of this boundary, the circular south point. There is therefore no south point or pole, but infinitely. Forming a vast circumference, the meridians are straight lines north and south, and latitudes its distance along the meridian line. The degree of latitudes are 57.5, not 90 as upon the global or whatever meridians are semicircles. 37 and 1/2 as a proportion of radius to circular conference, and a degree of latitudes is a definite unvarying quantity as measured throughout upon the total meridian length. It is 69 and 1/4 miles upon a plane surface, and this agrees with the most exact measurements ever made on the face of the earth by men of greatest skill and by the best instruments. Parallels of latitude are circular concentric with the northern center. A degree of latitude is a definite and varying quantity as measured throughout upon the total meridian length, but a degree of longitude is a varying quantity according to the radial distance on the equator of the degree allowed to equal a degree of longitude north of the equivalent to exceeds longitude south of that. Longitude exceeds latitude. The difference between the distance between these parallels from each other and the equator is precisely the same as between any two meridians on the equatorial circle. This distance on the equator is 1035 mi, 124th part of 25,000 miles of parallels of value sections of 15 degrees or 1,035 miles each. The sun's feet per hour on the equator is 1,035 miles in distance northward from the equator to summer solstice, which the sun makes 90 days or 90 centric spiral revolutions, is also the 1,035 mi. This is the sun's northward journey, and it decreases its orbit and speed and proportion to this distance to distance southward from the equator to the winter solstice, which the sun makes also 90 days. 90th concentury again in September to December again is 1,044 process of the same ratio, just as revolution of the sun is 24-hour path from east to east again gives an ultimate to day and nights, just so does the increase southward increase northward provide the change of seasons. This means that you're supposed to 64 2 hours 2 days and 8 hours over before renewing its spiral courses northward and southward, so that orbit for those extra 5 days 8 hours is concentric. At the other 6,360 revolutions it is eccentric or spiral, giving the 2 solstice months to do in December 32.5 days each, the other 10 just 30 days.